And we say good morning to you. We are broadcasting live on the road today. We are in the studio, Tom Taylor Sports Show studio on this Food City Friday. Brought to you by Food City. Again, deals for days, and they are rocking right now at all Food City stores. They are busy, 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 busy. And we understand that. And so we have told them we'll be back there next Friday. They said, perfect, because we're busy selling groceries, and we understand that. We got lots to tell you about. A lot of good stories happening in sports. We're going to be here till 1 o'clock or thereabouts, a couple of hours, on show number 2437 of the Tom Taylor Sports Show. It is Food City Friday. We'll be back at Food City in Gray next Friday. A couple of birthdays to tell you about before we get started. Happy birthday to country music legend Jeannie Pruitt. Her big song, Satin Sheets to Lie On. She is 89 today. Phil Collins from the group Genesis, the legendary drummer, singer from Genesis, and Phil Collins is a solo artist, 75 today. And Christian Bale, the cowboy, well, he's done a lot of things. Ones I remember is 3:10 to Yuma, for sure. Christian Bale, really good actor, 52 today. The birthdays for this Friday, again, January the 30th, tomorrow the 31st, and Sunday, February 1st, and Tuesday, start over. Sunday is February the 1st. Monday the 2nd is Groundhog Day. So there you go. That's what's coming up. Hard to believe we're at the month of January to the end of that, but we are at the end of the month of January here again on this Friday, Food City Friday. Let's get it started. We got lots to cover, and so let's go national anthem time. Who gets to do it? We would ask someone to step up this time and sing. It would be who? How about, gosh, let's see here. Bum, 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 bum. Yep. Let's bring in Jennifer Nettles, who sang this at the Battle of Bristol football game. Got the picture up on the wall. That was September the 10th, 2016. Hard to believe it's been 10 years. Wow. 10 years coming up in September. The biggest college football game ever. What's the attendance? It was 156,990. Got the poster up here on the wall here in the studio. We had the privilege and honor to be a part of that. And so here she is, Jennifer Nettles, national anthem on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Tom Taylor Sports Show. Got a brand new product. Tell me what's going on.
We sure do. We have contactless Visa debit cards, and some of you all have been asking and wanting to know, when are you going to implement that? We are hitting the ground running. So right now you can get your free instant issue contactless debit cards at Northeast Community Credit Union, and that's just another form of payment. So you've got the mag strip on the back, you've got your contactless, invisible, what you want to call it, if you want to pay that way for tabless, or you've got your chip. So we're just staying up to date with all the things, and we listened to you. So you wanted that, and that's what we can provide, and we've implemented it with hard work, behind the scenes, a lot of teamwork, effort, and come get your contactless Visa debit card today.
Available now
Yes,
at all locations. Our locations are
they are in Rome Mountain. They are in Elizabethton, one in behind Elizabethton High School, our main office. And then we have one off of 19E in Elizabethton. We have one in Johnson City off of West Oakland Avenue.
social media. How do we find you?
You can find us at Facebook, Instagram, or bemycu.org.
And the magic main number is
423-547-1200.
brand new product from Northeast Community Credit Union, proud sponsor of the Tom Taylor Sports Show and Cyclone Sports. And back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show, let's take a look at college basketball first here on this Friday. And last night, the Lady Vols losing at home 77-62. First loss in the SEC. They're now 6-1, 14-4 overall. They lose it by 15, 77-62. Talked to Joseph Taylor. He and the fam went down to watch the game last night. So it was an incredibly cool experience. So there you go. The end result wasn't that good. Apparently, some of the players were late getting to the to practice, or not the practice, but the shoot around, and then late getting to the game when I was reading. And so that didn't set well, I wouldn't think. And so they will head out on the road for 3 now. They'll be at UConn, the number 1 team in the country, on Sunday. The annual Tennessee-UConn basketball game played last year in Knoxville. The Lady Vols won that one. So redemption for the Lady Huskies, the number 1 team in the country. Guaranteed that's on the bulletin board for Gino and the ladies. They'll play there Sunday at noon at UConn. Then they go to Georgia. Then they wrap things up at South Carolina, the 3-game road trip. It's a pretty tough test ahead for the Lady Vols, losing last night by 15. Well, there's a change in the story, the ever-changing story. And Charles Bediako, the basketball player of Alabama, the judge has backed away, has recused himself from the case. Says, nope, I'm not going to be a part of this. Tuscaloosa Circuit Court Judge James Roberts filed the order earlier in the week. He says, again, it was reassigned to Judge Daniel Pruitt, an Alabama graduate who's overseeing the murder case involving former Crimson Tide player Darius Miles. So now it's in his court. Roberts, again, saying his donations to the university, as well as public perception that his relationship with Alabama athletics could alter the judgment of the case. Hello. Yes, I think that'd be, hello, Connie Helms. How you doing, lady? I guess that would be a pretty good foregone conclusion. Roberts is listed as a donor to the Crimson Tide's Foundation's website, which puts him in 6 figures giving. So anyways, backed out. Said, I'm not going to do this. And so Bediako's attorneys did not oppose the motion. He is suing the NCAA in an attempt to regain college eligibility, again, after leaving school and entering the 2023 NBA draft. Went undrafted but signed a 2-way NBA contract and played the past and parts of the 3 seasons in the G League. So Roberts granted a temporary restraining order last week that allows Bediako to play with the Crimson Tide, at least till a hearing on an injunction can be held. And so they play at Florida on Sunday. So several coaches, including Florida's coach Todd Golden, have strongly opposed Bediako's return to college basketball. Rick Barnes, I thought, handled it perfectly. Barnes simply said, look, here's how it is. If you walk away from your college eligibility, I'm paraphrasing, I'm not exact quoting, but it's the gist is there. If you walk away from your college eligibility, you've walked away. If you've left, you've left, and you can't come back. So, hello, William Welch. How you doing? So that's what's going on with Bediako. The judge has said, I'm going to step back and let somebody else do this because the perception is it's a good old boy thing, and it is. It's in Alabama, so and not because it's in Alabama, but it's in the backyard of where all this is unfolding in Tuscaloosa. So anyway, new judge has been assigned to the case for Charles Bediako for the Alabama Crimson Tide. All right, last night, college basketball, you had 8th-ranked Iowa State. The Cyclones, a 30-point win over Colorado State. 9th-ranked Illinois beat Washington by 9 last night. Big one tonight, probably, maybe the marquee game. In my mind, it is the marquee game of the weekend. It's tonight. Number 3, Michigan. Back-to-back tough test. They had Nebraska earlier in the week and beat them. Number 3, Michigan travels tonight to number 7, Michigan State. That's a biggie. That's a big basketball game. That'll be tonight. Also, 21st-ranked St. Louis hosting Dayton tonight. Tomorrow, Saturday, busy day. We'll start with the 12 o'clock games tomorrow. You have 22nd ranked Clemson hosting Pittsburgh. Number 4 Duke. The Dukies will be in Blacksburg to battle Virginia Tech. All this again with an asterisk with this weather. So on the way to cardiac rehab. Have a very blessed day. Thank you, Connie. Bless your heart. So anyway, all these games with an asterisk, particularly in the South, because of the winter storm warning we're now under. A lot of the schools have been either closed already today or got an early dismissal to get folks home, and it's supposed to start here in a little while and begin to snow. And typically, again, I'm a weather geek. Typically, we don't get our snows around here until nightfall. So that's when it really kind of cuts loose. And I think that's, they said there's some snowfall starting early this afternoon. We're really going to pick up tonight and overnight. So having said that, the Dukies will be in Blacksburg tomorrow at 12 o'clock to battle Virginia Tech. 11th ranked Texas Tech at Central Florida. 10th ranked Houston tomorrow, the 12 o'clock games. Cougars hosting Cincinnati. At 1:30, 17th ranked Virginia at Boston College. The 2 o'clock games tomorrow. North Carolina 16th ranked Tar Heels will be at Georgia Tech. 20th ranked Louisville hosting SMU. And the top ranked team in the country, Arizona, plays at Arizona State. Big in-state rivalry. Hello, Jeremy. How you doing, buddy? Jeremy Marler. Those are the early afternoon games. Mid-afternoon tomorrow, only 2 undefeated teams in the country. One of those is Arizona. The other is Miami of Ohio. They will host Northern Illinois tomorrow at 3:30. Late afternoon games, 14th ranked Kansas hosting BYU. 18th ranked Vanderbilt will be, now we're kicking into the night games. 18th ranked Vanderbilt tomorrow night hosting Ole Miss. 15th ranked Arkansas, John Calipari coaching against his old school, the Kentucky Wildcats, tomorrow night in Arkansas. Number 2, UConn, the Huskies play at Creighton. And number 6 tomorrow night, Gonzaga in the late game. The Bulldogs hosting St. Mary's. That is your college basketball schedule. But clearly, for my money, number 3 Michigan tonight and number 7 Michigan State. That's the big one, I would think, this weekend in college basketball. Tom Taylor Sports Show. We're on the road today in studio, as a matter of fact. We're here. Again, it's Deals for Days. The Food City folks said, we are slammed today. Come back next week. And I said, I totally understand that. And so here's what's on sale, though, at all Food Cities today and tomorrow. California-grown navel oranges, 6-pound bag for $5.99. Blueberries or strawberries, $2.69 a pint. Limit 4. Love to have me some blueberry pancakes. Crackin' flavor snack crackers today and tomorrow at all Food Cities, $1.69, limit 4. Country Crock, a 45-ounce container, limit 2 for $3.99 today and tomorrow. Misty Mountain Spring Water. We talk about being hydrated in the summer. It's really, I've read where it's even more important for us to be hydrated in the winter. It's year-round, not just in the summer when it's hot and muggy, but we're to be hydrated year-round. And so, having said that, Misty Mountain Spring Water, 24-pack of 16-ounce bottles for $4.99, limit 2 today and tomorrow at all Food Cities. Little Debbie Snack Cakes. Can you ever go wrong with those? You cannot. Little Debbie Snack Cakes. And also Pringles, Mingles, or Mega Stacks are $2.19 today and tomorrow, limit 4 at all Food Cities. That's on the front side of the sell paper. Back side, you've got Body Armor or Sunny D, $1 a bottle, 10 for 10, limit 10. Totino's Pizza Rolls. Party Pizzas, 3 for $5. Totino's Party Pizzas, 3 for $5 today and tomorrow. Also, Totino's Pizza Rolls on sale for $3.99. The Panera Soups comes in those little tiny containers. You get them at Food City, right from Panera. Panera Soup, 16-ounce container for $3.99. And last but not least, you have chocolate chip cookies, a dozen made fresh in the Bakery Deli at all Food Cities for only $3.99 today and tomorrow. So that's some of the specials. We're here in studio. We'll be back there next Friday at Food City in Gray on a Food City Friday. We'll take a break. We'll be right back and talk about Rick Pitino. Big night early in the week for Rick Pitino. We'll talk about that right after this time out. We're live here in studio, brought to you by Food City on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
We're all picky about our produce. And whether you're a thumper, a sniffer, a squeezer, or just plain particular, we promise no one is more picky about produce than Food City. That's why we're introducing our Picky Promise. Whether it's from farms down the road or tropical produce from the ends of the earth, we guarantee it's fresh or we'll replace it. You see, we're picky about produce, so you don't have to be.
Steins with a special song. Take it away, Axel.
The Eagle Center is right downtown. The second block is where we're found. We have crocs and clocks and a lot of things. Tools and glass and shiny rings. Coins and books and mirrors too. All these things just waiting for you. Beautiful furniture and much, much more. You gotta come visit our store.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show in studio again, brought to you by Food City on this Food City Friday. Got some buy one, get ones too. Let me run through some of those real quick. Buy one, get ones. Craven Flavor Pizza. These are good through Tuesday now. Buy one, get one free. Also, you have the select varieties of K's Novelties. Fudgesicles, Brown Cows, Dreamsicles. Got all those buy one, get one free, limit 4 right now. And also the Craven Flavor Ice Cream, which is a Food City brand. Both of those buy one, get one free through Tuesday. The Smart Ones entrees. Buy one, get one free, limit 4. And last but not least, we have Terry's or Zapp's potato chips. Buy a bag, get a bag free. Buy one, get one free through Tuesday at all Food Cities. So there you go. Let's take a look at college basketball. Rick Pitino honored Wednesday night by St. John's after achieving a rare milestone. His 900th win for Pitino. Racked up number 901 when the 25th-ranked Red Storm beat Butler at Madison Square Garden. Right before tip-off, they had a tribute to Pitino, featuring a montage of his highlights played on the large video screens. 73-year-old Pitino, raised in New York, became only the fourth, interesting stat, the fourth Division I men's basketball coach to get 900 wins on the court. The others are Mike Krzyzewski, Jim Boeheim, and Roy Williams. Impressive lot. Very impressive. Krzyzewski, Boeheim, and Roy Williams. So, Boeheim, rather. Pitino's milestones came against his son. Oh, that's pretty cool. Pitino's milestone win came against his son, Richard, first-year coach of Xavier, making it a special day when Dad beat son for his 900th win. That's pretty cool. He is 901 now and 316 overall in 38 seasons as a college head coach. He also had stops at Boston University, Providence, Kentucky, and Iona. Also NBA stops with the New York Knicks and the Boston Celtics, plus a stint with a team in Greece. So Rick Pitino's been everywhere. And so Pitino, 901 and 316 in 38 seasons, 73 years old. He said his goal is to get 1,000 wins. If I get to 1,000, it's going to be really cool. So Rick Pitino with 900 wins under his belt. But, again, now 901 to be exact. And so he is, again, looking to get that coveted 1,000 win mark, which means he's going to be around for a while. And, of course, that's what his goal is to be around, to continue coaching, as long as he said his health will allow him to do that. Last night, our doubleheader basketball, the Lady Cyclones of Elizabethton winning at 60-34, defeating the Lady Patriots of Sullivan East at the Patriot Palace. Scoring for Elizabethton, Addison Bunn had 17, Riley May 16 last night. Sydney Mitten had 9, 8 points from Reagan May. 6 points last night from Jameer Smalls and 5 points from Adrian Heading. Our Port Traps Deli players of the game were Sydney Minton off the bench with 9 points. Man, she just hustles. And Riley May had 16 points. And so those two young ladies got player of the game last night. 60-34 win for the Lady Cyclones, and now go to 4-1 of the league and 12-8 overall. East falls to 1-4 and 9-12 for Kiara Stafford. In a losing call, Sophie Johnson had 16 to lead the Lady Patriots last night in a game held at the Patriot Palace. Thought this was really cool. I want to give credit to Kim Carrier, the athletic director for the Sullivan East Patriots. Here's what happened last night. If you do or don't know, a young lady, a cheerleader from the Elizabethton cheerleading squad, is having some pretty serious medical problems, and so they stopped in between. I guess it was timeouts or at halftime. I'm not sure when it was, but Kim Carrier, on behalf of the Sullivan East dance team, got on the microphone and said, "We're going to pass the bucket through the crowd to throw your change in to help out the medical costs." I don't know what kind of money they ended up getting, but they did that twice in the game, once during the girls' game, once during the boys' game last night, which I thought was really classy on behalf of Sullivan East and Kim Carey, the athletic director. So, and the dance team from Sullivan East, she said it was their idea, but still, she had to approve it, and she did, and blessed it. And so, thank you, Kim. That's a very classy, but Sullivan East athletic director, and Andy here, the principal. I just thought that was a very, very cool touch. So, I preach it on this show every day, and it goes way beyond wins and losses. Sports is one spoke in the wheel of life, so people think, but it's really just one. But some folks make it the only spoke in the wheel of life, and that's not the way it is. And so here's a opposing team's cheerleader who's having a tough medical situation. In this case, it's Elizabethton's cheerleader. And so they took up, they passed a bucket last night through the crowd of buckets. And so, throw change in there. And if they got 10 cents or $10,000, I have no clue what they got. But the fact of the matter is that was something they wanted to do. And I just think that's very cool. If you remember back at Helene, when we were supposed to have a home football game last year, and we couldn't have a home football game in Elizabethton to play East, it was our year to play them at home. But because the high school is being used as a emergency center, have people actually living in the school while they were displaced from the floods from Helene. So we had to move the game to Sullivan East, and Sullivan East said, "You get in free, we're not even going to charge you." But they put buckets at the gate when you went in last year to play football at East, and people just threw in their change. It was a good distraction, good getaway from what we were going through. And again, a tip of the cap then, tip of the cap again now to Sullivan East and Andy Hare and Kim Carey, the athletic director. So that's very kind, very classy. So, and I thanked her for that. And she, of course, immediately deflected it and said, "Well, it was the dance team's idea." "Yeah, but you had to prove it. You're the athletic director." And she got on the PA and asked folks to put change in the bucket. So very, very classy. Kim Carrier and the folks at Sullivan East, along with their principal, Andy Hare. That tells me a lot about the character. And again, it goes beyond wins and losses. It's another school throwing money in a bucket or buckets for somebody at another school's cheerleader who's having a tough medical situation. So thank you, Sullivan East. All right, the second game, 74-64. Good ball game. Tell you what, this Eli Hubbard from East, he started slow. That rascal had, 5 at the end of the first half, had 13 points in the second half before fouling out. And he puts 18 points on the board. There's my buddy, Dr. Markland. Small school with a big heart. Absolutely. It takes a lot for me to cry, but I got a little choked up there. I thought, really? Now you think about that. So here's a young lady from Elizabeth and went in with what she thought was mono, and things have gone drastically downhill. So, and I'm going to get into all that because it's really none of my business to put that out there, only to say that she's in a tough spot. And to have another school stop the game twice, once during the girls' game, once during the boys' game, and ask to, throw your change in buckets, we passed it around. Pretty classy. At halftime of the girls' game, we didn't have a camera last night. We're going to be audio only on the road now because a lot of the schools want us to not bring a camera, and I'm okay with that. We'll do audio only. And so last night, you didn't see it, but we tried to talk a little bit about it during halftime. But they had it's called a unified group, I think is what they call it, but it's special needs children at Sullivan East got to get out there in front of everybody and play basketball for, 5 or 6 minutes during halftime. They had a blast. It was awesome. One little guy made a shot, and he jumped like a pogo stick for about 2 minutes. I mean, he just, because the crowd, they egged it on and he made a basket and everybody, went bananas, clapping applause. And those kids had a blast. I'm thinking, that's what it's all about. The wins come, the losses come, train rolls on. But see those special needs children out there last night from Sullivan East. Again, having fun playing basketball at halftime. They're out there 2 or 3 minutes, but again, you would have thought it was the seventh game of the NBA. Crowd was into it, cheering them on. And as I said, that one little boy made a basket, and he bounced like a pogo stick for about 2 minutes. It was awesome. So that's what it's about, folks. This life is too short not to enjoy it and look at it for the right reasons. Last night, the guys won by 10. Hudson Pate had 27 points last night. The big guy in the middle, Jackson Buckles, big night. He had 14 points. Nathan Bailey, who didn't even score in the first half, came back and roared back with 9 big ones in the second half. Cyclones went on the road. They go to 5-1 in the league now, and 10-11, 4-1 in the league now, and 10-11 overall. And so it was a big night last night for Hudson Pate. 27 points, 14 points for Jackson Buckles. Again for East, Eli Hubbard, 18 points. Ryan Hurley can shoot the lights out. He had 17 points last night for East with 3 3-pointers. And then the big guy, 6'11", Logan Shuttle. Talked to him last night before the game. You talking about a gentle giant. What a nice kid. And he thanked me for talking him up. He said, "You say nice things about me." I said, "It's a high school basketball game, sir. It's not good English. This is not the NBA. It's high school basketball, and you're our neighbors, and so why would I run you down? I'm not going to run any of these kids down. They're kids, for crying out loud." So, but anyway, he thanking me. I'm 6'5", and I'm looking up at this guy thinking, this guy's a tree trunk. He's an aircraft carrier. Anyway, he had 12 points last night. Had 2 3-pointers. He had that soft touch out there for the big guy for Sullivan East. Anyway, it was a good night. Passing the buckets in the stands and watching those special needs youngsters play and have a big time. Pales in what I was doing the basketball game last night for the Cyclones, because that was cool stuff. Anyway, tonight's games obviously are scrapped. We're under a winter storm warning, so everywhere I've gone said, "We think you're going to get it." I'm thinking, I'm not Willard Scott. I'm not a weatherman. I don't know. So it feels like it. Now, being from the hills of West Virginia, it feels like snow. Unlike last week, it does feel like it. So, but again, typically, as I said, I'm a weather. If I wasn't doing this, I'd probably be a weatherman. So I'm kind of a weather geek, and so I do know if you track it, most of the time we get our snows after dark when the sun goes down. So we'll see. That's when they're talking about the bulk of it coming tonight and tomorrow. So as a result, and wisely so, the safety of fans, kids, all parties, the referees. We're not. All the games are scrapped tonight. I know the Cyclones for sure are. The game tomorrow, the Milligan basketball game we're going to be streaming. It's been moved to Monday at 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock. Let's see. I think it's 4 o'clock against Georgia Gwinnett. So, here's the thing about this. For me, it's always good, and I feel like I'm a hamster on one of those little wheels all the time. I'm going and going and going and going and going. And so when you have this, or you have an illness or a sickness, which is not a good way to get slowed down, but sometimes the good Lord says, "Slow her down, cowboy." And so storms do that, I think. I think it's really cool to pause for the cause, and sometimes it's good just to stop and just kind of gather yourself. That's what Mama used to say, stop and gather yourself. And I think she was right. So if you don't have to go out once the snow starts, don't go out. Back up home when I was a kid, the rednecks would say, "Whoa, I got me a 4-wheel drive. Boy, we'll go out there." And the next thing you know, you hear the wrecker going down the road and pull them out of the ditch because they thought they were 10-foot tall and bulletproof. So if you don't have to go out, that was back in the day. But we have rednecks around here with 4-wheel drives. So if you don't have to go out, don't go out. It's real simple. And just, as I said earlier in the week, for those of us that had little ones and now they're grown and married and gone, have their own lives, in-state, out-of-state. So what I wouldn't give to be able to hang up here when the show's over or go off and go watch VeggieTales or finger paint or color or we made chocolate chip cookies all the time. Put them on, get those Nestle Toll Houses from Food City and put them on a cookie sheet, bake cookies. Had a blast doing those kind of things. Those are all gone. We have an empty house now because they've all grown. So if you have little ones, don't treat them as a liability. Treat them as an asset, because one of these days they'll be up, grown, and gone. And then some folks, the Lord's not blessed to have children, and they would give anything to have a little person running around, and they don't have that. So if you have little people, yeah, they may drive you crazy. You may drive them crazy. If you ask them, you may drive them nuts too. So, but enjoy them, because I promise you, you blink and they'll be gone. They'll be grown. And I mean, I can't even believe my oldest granddaughter just turned 20. I mean, I remember cutting her umbilical cord in the hospital. Now blink, and now you're 20 years old. I mean, that's hard to believe. So it's hard for me to believe. I just played Jennifer Nettles' national anthem. The Battle of Bristol, got it up here on the wall, the poster. It's 10 years. It's going to be coming up on 10 years. I cannot believe that. It's 2016. It's like 2 years ago. Train rolls on. Daddy used to say, older you get, faster things come around. And he's right. Tom Taylor Sports Show. We are live in studio, brought to you by Food City. They said we are selling groceries, and they are. Here's some buy one, get ones going on right now. You have Natural Choice large eggs. Buy one, get one free. Limit 2 through Tuesday. Also at all Food Cities, the Craven Flavor Ice Cream. Buy one, get one free. And the Prego Pasta Sauce. You got that going on. Buy one, get one free. Limit 4 at all Food Cities today and tomorrow. But this is buy one, get one's good through next Tuesday. Now, the deals for days, we got more sports coming. Deals for days, got a quarterback played in the playoffs with a broken foot. How do you play with a broken foot? I find it amazing. He played. Connie says, yes, I miss those days with my daughter and grandkids. See? I'm telling you. And I tell these young couples, like I just told Lucas Honeycutt the other day, he's got 2 of the cutest kids in the world, Holt and Hensley. He said, man, they're a handful. I said, Hoss, you better love them, because when you look up, every kid's a handful. But when you look up and you come home to an empty house, man, it gets to you. I'm telling you, it gets to you, because you're used to the noise and the chatter and the this and that. I had 2 that fight over air growing up. I'd give anything to be separating them right now. But they're both married and gone, so it is what it is. But, again, for you that have little peeps, a snowstorm, school's out, man, do something with them. Work a puzzle. Color with them. The little people. Sit down and watch a movie. Pop popcorn, sit down and watch a movie with them. Spend time with them. That's the key to this whole thing. You can buy their love, or you can spend time and invest in love by just being with them. I feel like I'm coaching, but it's just what it is. Sometimes I think we miss it. We miss the boat. We're so busy going from point A to point B, ball games and practices and this and that, and got to be here, got to be there, got to do this. We ain't got to do nothing. I'll go back to our pastor. He preached one day, got all choked up right after COVID. He said, I thought I had it going pretty good. He said, our church is growing. He said, and I'm paraphrasing, but he said, the church is growing. Things are going well for our church. Back in that day in the COVID, he said, and I thought I was kind of 10 foot tall and bulletproof. And the Lord said, let me show you. He put me in a hospital room in Johnson City Med Center for 5 days in the dark. No family, no congregation, just me and the Lord in the dark for 5 days. COVID, he said, got my attention. He said, I realize now how precious and how fleeting life is. And it is. It really is. So whether you want to believe it or not, you think I'm just going on about it, so be it. But I'm telling you, I've been there. I've lived a little life. And, again, spend time with those, because you just never know. You don't know. Daddy used to say, we're one heartbeat away from eternity. And he's right. You don't know what's around the corner. So the ones you love, tell them you love them. The ones you can love, show them you love them. There you go. As Forrest Gump says, that's all I'm going to say about that. All right, you got chocolate chip cookies at Food City by the dozen, $3.99. Ooh. Now, I'm telling you, you get them, put them in a glass of Food Club milk, dunk them chocolate chip cookies. Woo, doggies. I may sashay over there and get me some of those before the snow hits. May talk myself into a dozen chocolate chip cookies. I already got the milk. I may just wear that out here in a little while. Totina's Pizza Rolls, $3.99 today and tomorrow. Totina's Party Pizzas, 3 for $5 at all Food Cities today and tomorrow. Food Club Chicken Breast, the can limit 6 for $2.49. And last but not least, You have Van Camp chili with beans, I'm sorry, or Food Club cream cheese, $1.49, limit 6 at all Food Cities today and tomorrow. I know folks going to grill out. They said, you know what? As long as I can flip the lid on that grill, sweep it off. If it snows, I'm going to grill out. Ground round for $5.99 today, or this is through Tuesday at all Food Cities. There's a sell paper. That just looks good. Ground round with a mater on it, some cheese on a bun. Ketchup. Cosmic crisp apples, $1.49 a pound. Slice those rascals, put a little peanut butter on them. That'd be good. So, also, you have one more thing before we go to the break. We got, we'll talk about the quarterback had a broke foot in the playoffs. How do you play football with a broken foot? I mean, that just amazes me. And he did it. I'll tell you who it was coming up here out of the break. Pre-sliced meat or cheese, selected varieties for $5 at all Food Cities. You need some good sandwich meat? So a guy asked me this yesterday at the ball game. He said, dear friend of mine, he said, from East, he came out, we were talking, he said, you got your bread and your milk yet? And I said, well, I'll probably get some on the way home, and I did after the game. He said, why do we always get bread and milk? What do we sop the bread in the milk? I've never understood it either. If you get bread, I guess you would want to have either peanut butter or something to put on the sandwich, some kind of a deli meat. But we always get bread and milk. And he said, what do they put on the bread? I said, I don't know. What do you put on us? I put on peanut butter and jelly. I can tell you what I put on. So Jif crunchy peanut butter and a little bit of jelly. And, ooh, doggies, I'm in there. Strawberry or grape jelly or preserves or jam. That's country. So that's what I do. And here's the thing. I want to see if you know this. I'm going to take a break. See if you can answer this. What's the number one thing Food City sells year-round? Year-round. What's the number one thing? I know this answer. Blew me away when they told me. The number one thing Food City sells day in and day out, year-round, and really when it's wintry weather and we got these storms, people go out and load up on the groceries. What do they get the most? It's interesting. I'll tell you 3 things it is not. Because it's not bread, it's not milk, it's not beer, and it's not eggs. The number one thing they sell year-round. It's interesting. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. We'll tell you what it is. It blew my mind when I found it out. The number one thing Food City sells year-round, and really more so during these wintry storm where people go out and get groceries and load up. We'll tell you about it right after this. And the quarterback that played with a broken foot on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
After a long, hard day at work, all you want to do is relax at home, right? But how can you possibly relax when your home's not comfortable? If you want to feel more comfortable at home, give Advanced Heat Pump Systems a call today. With over 30 years of experience and the most innovative solutions, you can rest assured that Advanced Heat Pump Systems will make your home more comfortable. Give them a call today, 926-2665, or visit them online at advancedheatpump.com.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show, let's again do the verse today. We always dedicate our show to the man who hung on the cross, and the man to be the Lord Jesus, the man. And so let's do that real quick, and we'll get into this story. And it goes like this. Verse of the day is out of the book of Psalms, Psalms 107, 28, and 29. See if this applies to you. Then they cried out to the Lord in their trouble. He brought them out of their distress. By the way, looked down last night, and Caitlin Baylor's at the ball game last night. KB was there, walking out of the gym. Went and saw her over Christmas. She was in ICU. Don't think the Lord didn't answer prayer, folks. First, she's walked and living proof. Verse 29 says, He stilled the storm to a whisper. The waves of the sea were hushed. You ever been on the west on the coast where there's a hurricane? He stilled the storm to a whisper. Imagine the going nuts, the wind blowing, the waves are flying around. It's chaotic, and it says he stilled the storm to a whisper. The waves of the sea were hushed. Whew. That's who we pray to, folks. Thank you, Lord Jesus, that we can bring our troubles to the one who has the power to still storms and hush waves. Whew, boy. Nothing is impossible for you, including our own troubles and our situations. How about that? Nothing is impossible for him. Nothing. He has the power to still storms and hush waves. Can you imagine? Would that not be a mind blower to be out there on the coast in the middle of a hurricane back in the day and see him still the waves? Everything's going, it's like, that's who we pray to, folks. The quarterback who broke his foot, Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen, underwent surgery after playing with a broken bone in his right foot during the last 4 weeks of the season. Wow. That's incredible. The procedure repaired his his foot. He'll be back in 8 to 10 weeks in time for the off-season workouts in the spring. Josh Allen says, quote, obviously not an ideal situation. No, wouldn't think so. Painful throughout the weeks, but again, on game day, it's a different story. You just kind of put that to the side and go out there and play football. So that's good. He's tough. Daddy used to say tougher than a pine knot. So came into the press conference to make the announcement on crutches and a walking boot. So again, they go back to, boy, they lost to the Bills, lost another game to the, and they fired the coach, and it goes on and on. All right, this guy goes out and plays with a broken foot. He's a gamer. So it's, it's pretty impressive. So Allen, again, will be back ready to go. But he broke his foot and played on a broken foot for the last 4 weeks of the season, including the playoffs. So it's a tough dude. He'll be ready to go in the spring for the Buffalo Bills and the new coach, Joe Brady. All right, let's get into college football here for just a second or two. We're live here in studio, brought to you by Food City on this Food City Friday. The growing problem in college football is tampering with other players, and it's becoming very, very, very intense. How about that? It's called tampering. So the new coach, Alex Golesh from the Auburn Tigers, says there needs to be guardrails on this thing. I think we all want to know the rules in which you can operate. The truth is right now there aren't any. So you operate ethically with what you feel like is right, but you know as well as I do, not everybody's going to do it right. Nobody's going to do it ethically. Thank you for the devotion. I needed that this morning. Makes you stop and give God the glory. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So I have said this many times on the show, and it's true. It is going to be a winter storm warning here this weekend. If he wanted it to go and go 95 degrees, the sun's out, he can do that. He's God. He's in control. If he wants it to snow 5 feet and be 24 degrees below zero for 4 days in a row, whatever, he can do that. But he can also heal people. Look at Emily Schubert, young lady who played basketball, Elizabeth, and at Duke. She's back. I think I read the other day or last week where she's out eating ice cream now with her mom. So she's not out of the woods, but she's out of the hospital and doing better, much better. Caitlin Bailey's another example. It goes on and on and on. So he's still in the miracle business and healing people. But he can take a storm and it just hushes. Well, remember, he's in the boat. He just and made the winds stop, calmed the winds in the middle of the storm. So anyway, so thank you, Connie. You're very sweet. Appreciate that. But it's true. This show is a living example. This is 2 hours just about sports. And people got everything in my mind. The older I get, the more I do this show to realize how insignificant all this is. You get right down to it. Oh, they've lost this one, and the Bills lost this one, and this team's in a funk, and this team can't play, and this guy's no good, and she can't play, and Kim Caldwell can't coach, and this one can't do this, and this one can't. So as I've said, and we'll get on the sports here. Let me get done with my soapbox. Let's go up to ICU of any hospital and ask them what's important right now. And I guarantee you, tampering of football recruits won't even come up in the conversation. I promise you. I've been there. I've been up there and visited people in the ICU. It's enzymes and oxygen levels and blood levels, and we're checking this and checking that and putting this test coming up and this is going on, and what we think's important out here in our day-to-day running around, no, it don't mean a hill of beans when you're in there up against the wall when you're in ICU or have a loved one that is. So, and sports is what it is. As I said, it's one spoke in the wheel of life. It is not the spoke. I don't care what anybody says. And I do a sports show. Been doing ball games for 40-some years. But I'm telling you, it matters not. It does not matter at the end of the day. What matters is your walk with the Lord and the relationships you have with people. All right, here we go. So Goalie says we need to have guardrails, and he's right. So his transfer class, number 13 in the country, has 39 signees. So Auburn's in pretty good shape. But he says how we've gone about doing this. Dabo Swinney recently ripped the Ole Miss Rebels and their new coach, who took over for Kiffin. Duke and former Blue Devils quarterback Mensa has reached a settlement in their saga, allowing him to quit and leave and block his intention of entering the portal to sign with Miami. So rules enforcement is supposed to be the top priority for the NCAA, and sometimes it's not. So how does this work? Tell me how this works in a regular job. So you got NIL money, and they signed me to play at Marshall, which is my alma mater, see behind me. So I went to school, proud card-carrying member of the Thundering Herd. And I'm an NIL guy, and they say, we're going to pay you, I don't know, we're going to pay you $10,000 this year to play football at Marshall. Okay. We're going to go ahead and either you want it now, you want two lump sums. I'll take a lump sum. Two of them. We'll do one now and do one, I don't know, June or July. Okay, so here's $5,000 dumped in my account. All right? Or they can get paid monthly, however they do it. Or you can get paid one big check and just give you $10,000. I think each scenario is different with these players. But the bottom line is, the point is of this hypothetical situation. So I get courted by Tennessee. I'm 2 months into this thing getting paid. I've already got $5,000 deposited in my account by the Marshall NIL Fund. I'm feeling good about myself. I made $5,000. And I'm 2 months into this, and all of a sudden UT calls or pick somebody. Somebody else calls, pick Georgia, pick any school. Calls me and says, hey, we need you down here. What's Marshall paying you? They're paying me 10, put 5 in, 5 later. Hey, we'll double that. We'll give you 20 right now. I mean, that's what it's become a sweepstakes. So my question to you is, if I leave, do I owe the school that money? Do I need to reimburse them or not? Or if a donor, Joe Schmo, ponies up and says, I like old Tom there, I'll give him the $5,000. I've got that money. I'm a big time donor, and I'm just going to put 5. I'll take care of Tom. I'll take him under my wing, and I'll pay him myself. Okay. So OTT here rolls out to XYZ University in the middle of this deal. Do I owe the money back to the school? If that's the one to pay me, do I owe the money back to the donor? And he gave it in good faith, assuming that I was going to be there to complete my agreement to play football for Marshall. And yet here I go, I jump to the next highest bidder, and I leave the school high and dry, and the donor and the money, the pile of money that I got, do I have to pay it back? There's the question. And so some of these universities are beginning to sue, asking for their money back. So Joe Schmo has left and went from their school to another school for more money. So the money paid out to the guy that left, does he reimburse him? Does he owe it back the money or a portion thereof? Or does he just say, okay? I mean, how's that work in the workforce now? If you're working in a job and you take a job at somewhere else and they gave you a bonus, an ongoing bonus, if you will, yeah, hey, we're going to bump it up. We're going to give you a bonus this is all, I'm making this up on the fly. But the point is, in a regular job situation, are you required or would you be required to reimburse them if you take their money and turn around and leave and go somewhere else? I guess that's all if there's a contract drawn up or not. I don't think it's a contract per se, too many of them. I don't know how well defined these agreements are, but that's become a question a lot of these universities are asking now that these guys leave, drop a dime to go somewhere else to make more money. Well, what about the money you owe us? I mean, what about the money we paid you, rather? Do you owe it back to them? It's a very good point, and I don't have that answer. I would think yes. I would think if you're going to get that kind of money and try and leave them high and dry, or if you sign a scholarship coming out of school or whatever, you sign scholarship papers and you don't fulfill them or you leave. Now, hypothetically, they've recruited Tom Taylor, and Tom Taylor's there to play basketball at Marshall, alma mater. This is all hypothetical. And so I'm there for a year, and I leave. I leave early, go to the NBA, or I transfer to another school. Well, in theory, they've been recruiting. I'm going to use a goofy name. They've been recruiting Fred Flintstone. Okay, and so Fred Flintstone was a pretty good ball player, but Tom Taylor got the scholarship. Fred got left out in the cold, but now Tom's gone. So in theory, at least the way I look at it, maybe I'm wrong. In theory, I have cost the university a chance to have a kid to be willing to come in there and at least stay longer than I did, because I've already trucked on to the next school. So the scholarship opportunity that was going to be afforded to Fred Flintstone's gone because I took it, but now I left the school. So it's kind of a domino effect. So they don't get Fred. Fred goes somewhere else and excels where he went, but he could have been a Marshall guy. But they rolled the dice on Tom Taylor, and Tom Taylor bid him because he left. So that's the kind of things they're dealing with now in college athletics. At least that's what I'm reading. I'm not there. I'm not on the point with that. Hello to Lisa and Guy McCrae. Said amen, my brother. I don't know what part you said amen to, but thank you. So we are live here again. We're in studio, brought to you by today by Food City Monday. We'll be back out on the road, I guess, weather permitting. If not, we'll be right back here. It's okay to be here. Monday be our sponsor be Chick-fil-A. But we're here today thanks to Food City. We've been doing Food City Fridays for 20-some years, and so we love promoting Food City. They do a wonderful job giving back to the community. And so here's buy and save $5. Buy 5 and save $5. You mix and match any of those 5 participating items. Look at this whole paper full of them. Buy 5, save 5. Save $5. $5 is $5. Let's run down some of these. Pepperidge Farm garlic bread. When you buy 5 in the same transaction, lesser quantities of value card price, each discount. That's pretty cool. I like that. So Pepperidge Farm cheese bread, Prego Alfredo sauce, Swanson broth. Let's see. V8 juice, V8 energy drinks. These are some of the things you can. Pacific Organic Soup. These are buy 5 and save 5. Save $5 at all Food Cities when you do that. Then, All American Chili. Here's everything on sale to make chili. Bush's chili beans for $1.69. Food Club tomato paste, 99 cents a can. Food Club vegetables, $1.69. Food Club sour cream for your chili for $1.99. Frank's Red Hot Sauce. Don't need that. I'm a sissy. I don't need anything spicy. 2 for $6 on that one. So I'll have to leave that one off. So college athletics is not what it once was. Kathy, honey, you're exactly right. That's a new name, I think. I'm not sure. Thank you for watching. But no, it is not what it once was. And Betty Ocko's hearing in a couple of weeks, the player from Alabama is going to change everything, I'm afraid. Trinidad Chambliss will get his hearing, the quarterback in Ole Miss, on February the 12th. I'm going to go ahead and say he'll get a chance to play it last year for Ole Miss. Because here's what his attorneys are saying. They don't let him play. He's got an NIL deal out there about between $5 and $6 million. What do you think of that? Get me fired up. You go watch a game on Saturday afternoon and watch these guys play. I mean, I would never do this, and I hope none of these guys do this, but at one point they go, I don't care. It don't make a difference to me. I got the money. Money's in the bank. We win, we win. We don't win, we don't win. If we win, it's great. If we lose, I'm still got my money. It's all about me, 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 me. And I'm afraid that's where we're headed in this thing. We may be already there. So, and then you got the scandal now that's coming out. Guys are throwing games. They're fixing games. They had, 17 guys Some of those already been kicked off the teams because they got caught fixing games, missing shots, and not, just making sure they cover the spread so they can make money. So I'm thinking 1970 Elizabethton graduate. Well, I'm glad you're with us. Thank you. So here I'm busting it every day. Do I plunk down that money to go watch a game, the tickets, the parking, the concessions, instead of the college basketball game and wonder, okay, guy misses an obvious layup or misses, you don't know. Unfortunately, you have to be a cynic and go, wow. And now they're talking about, they're wanting to check the officials, see if they're throwing games too. So, she is exactly right. It's not what it once was. So for me, I'm into the high school scene because it's the purity of the sport. So all those kids we covered last night between East and Elizabethton, chances any of those guys or girls go to college? Let me think how many I would think. I'd say maybe 5 or 6, just off the top of my head. Will maybe go on and play college sports in one way, shape, or form. I know Jamira Smalls, Elizabethton, probably I would think will go for track and field since she's a 2-time state shot put champion, I would think. But anyway, point of that is the purity of the sport in high school is, for now, I hope it stays that way. The kids are playing for, most of these kids, a Friday night football game is their Super Bowl. Or a Friday night basketball game like last night, or Thursday night in this case. Game 7 of the NBA, it's a big deal every night. Because that's as far as it's going to go. Their basketball or football or whatever career will probably end after high school and get on with life. So it's a big deal to them. In college, I just wonder if these guys are making the money. It's like the Lady Vols were late for practice. And so either late for the game, late for the practice. I got to check into that, see which one it was. But, Kim Caldwell was pretty adamant yesterday after the game in the press conference saying, we didn't put out, so how did she say it? We didn't put up a fight. We didn't even show up or something. She referenced the fact, and I got to make sure I got that right. But she, basically said, they weren't ready to play. And that's on me. But how many of these kids out there will get the point, they got the money, they don't care, I guess what I'm trying to say. I got the money in my checking account. If we win, great. If we lose, oh well. I still got my money. I hope it's not coming to that. Kathy's right. College athletics, as we know, is completely changed. So, and you're asking the mom and pops of the world they ante up the ticket prices of these ball games. Then they want you to come back and give, some of these schools are saying, can you give more to the NIL funds and we can be more competitive to go out and get more players or better players so we can be successful in the football or basketball or whatever it is, whatever sport. I know they've asked the donors to pony up more money at some of the schools to help out in the NIL. But then the guy gets the NIL, the lady, she is up and leaves the school to go somewhere else. Where's the loyalty? Well, there isn't any. It's all about me. So that's the state of college athletics, I think, in a encapsulated form. So we'll see. But it would be tougher and tougher for me to jump in the car and drive somewhere to go see a major college event, wondering if those guys are putting out 120% because they've got their money. NIL. If you remember, last fall, Oklahoma State, their coach, who's now gone, yep, Mr. Alexander, yep, we've got to say prayers for him. Thank you, Kathy. But Oklahoma State's coach, who has since been dismissed, got fired. They came to him at the end of the season or before the start of the season, and said, we need more money. We got to have more money. We're not going to play. Gundy was the coach's name. He said, we'll worry about that. We got to get ready to go for the season. This came in August. July or August, they came to us, we got to have more money. A little closer to home, the old boy named Nico. Remember last year, 2 years ago now, the Ohio State game? Wasn't going to play unless he got more money. Really. So there was some internal strife going on with that scenario when the Vols went to play Ohio State, because Nico was talking about not playing because he needed a little bit more money. Really? So that's where we are in the state of college athletics. How do you get it cleaned up? I don't know. But obviously, the NCAA's got to be tougher, and they're not. And there's a respect factor. And I don't think they have anymore. I don't. I mean, that's me sitting there thinking, there's no teeth in what they do and what they say. I mean, they told Trinidad Chambliss he can't play. I have no qualms with Trinidad Chambliss, but they petitioned the NCAA and they said no. And they said, "Oh no, you tell me no, I'm going to go get an attorney. I'm going to get what I want. I'm going to get my way." Okay. But at some point, not everybody. So Joey Aguilar, will he get the same thing? If he doesn't get the eligibility waiver reinstated for one more year, then he has a perfect reason to go find an attorney and sue him too if he wanted to. Because he's going to say, well, you let Trinidad, of course, it's not been decided yet, but he'll get it. You wait and see. But you're letting Bediako play, who left school and came back from the NBA, to letting him play. So now anybody that petitions the NCAA and doesn't get what they want, they can refer back to that one or the Trinidad case. I know, and there'll be other cases, I'm sure, other scenarios. So NCAA, I mean, you got to put the hammer down, and they did, and what didn't matter. So the ruling is okay. And they said if they tell us no, these are the attorneys for Trinidad. So if they tell us no, we'll immediately file an injunction and sue the NCAA, and they did. So it's like the Auburn coach said, there's no guardrails. It's just whatever. Tom Taylor Sports Show. We are here live in the studio, brought to you by Food City. We'll take a break. Got more to talk about. Got some Major League Baseball. Now, it's a winter storm warning outside, and we're supposed to get a lot of snow. Then it's going to be really cold over the weekend. Then Monday or Tuesday, I think by this time next week, it's going to be up in the 40s. So it'll be okay. We're going to make it through. But the best part about all this, you look at the calendar, you're down about 12 days to spring training in Major League Baseball. Think spring. And so, yep, you're right, Kathy. Once it was team, I need to meet you. I like you. Once it was team, now it's me. It's all about me. That's all sports is now, at least I think on the college level. It's all about me. So how many times you hear about these guys? You got me fired up on the show now. How many times you hear a grade point average or major? You never hear anybody majors. I'm going to major. I'm going to jump to this school to major in. You don't ever hear about that. You don't hear about grade point averages. In fact, most of these guys don't even go to class. They don't even go to school. They're there to play. It's a football or a basketball factory. It's all it is. They don't go to class. If you're making $5 or $6 million, why would you get up and go to an 8 o'clock class that's pouring down the snow on a Friday morning? Or if it's 75 degrees on a May morning, make a difference what the weather is. Why would you go to class? You don't need it. You're making $5 or $6 million. What are you making NIL money? Why would you go? But what they don't see, at some point, unless they invest it well, that money's going to run out. You hear about it all the time. Guys are broke. They get a big check and they go out and blow it, and they have nothing. So if you don't go to college, you don't get a degree, and you run out of NIL money at some point, because you will, well, then what do you fall back on? I mean, what are you going to do for a job? What's going to be your source of income? Well, some of these guys will be smart and invested and will be okay. Some won't. We've seen that in the past, where they're broke. So if you put all your eggs in a basket to play sports, but you have nothing to fall back on, then what? And that's what a lot of these guys are doing. They don't have any aspiration at all to go to class and get a degree. It's to play sports. What are you going to do for me? So yeah, it's all about me. That's the name of the game. So where does the rubber hit the road? I don't know where the breaking point is, but I mean, it can't keep going like this, I wouldn't think. If it is, it's going to destroy college athletics as we know it, in my opinion. Well, I've been on a soapbox today. I've been rambling, but it's true. What I'm saying is true. All you got to do is watch. And so, it's all about what you're going to do for me. That's why you have NIL. I don't know why they ever came up with that. I don't know what they thought was the positive aspect of transfer portal. Because all it does, her last night, a young lady, some kids transferred from east to another school in the area, like last week. Okay. I guess that's a prerogative, but, you reach the point now where it's not even semester to semester, I guess. But you can transfer when you want to go, where you want to go. So if you're a coach, how in the world can you have any consistency? If you're a college coach and I can just up and you don't play me enough, or I'm having fighting my girlfriend, or I don't like the food. I mean, whatever the reason it is, they want to transfer. They don't like the cafeteria food, whatever. How can you coach? Because you never know what you're going to have. You don't know whether the guys are happy or girls are happy on the team. Not just guys, it's women's athletics too. I mean, at one point, I mean, it's almost like you're babysitting them every day. You okay? Everything all right? We don't want you to get mad. Take your toys, go somewhere else. I mean, where's the team concept in that? Not everybody's like that, but a lot of them are like that. We'll be back after this on the Tom Daly Sports Show. David Collins, collinsandcompany.com. Tell us why. A lot of real estate companies out there. Why David Collins and Collins and Company?
Well, we service before and after the sale. I think that's a big thing. And follow through on phone calls. I think, and I have a lot of people just comment on how professional our website is, how professional our agents are, and what we do, and how we follow through with things. For instance, I'm not telling the name of a real estate company or anything like that. That's had a buyer that bought one of our houses through another agency, and she just called me. She said, my agent didn't show up at closing, didn't bring me any keys, we didn't do a final walkthrough. That's pretty sad. And, you know, I just want to let folks know, you come here, you're going to get service, you know, follow through. We're going to work through with you, follow you through the process, help you through the process. You don't have a lender. We've got lenders we recommend. Attorneys for closing we recommend. And you get full service here.
End of story. Full service. Phone number to call?
423-543-5741.
A 97% closing ratio, folks. Collins and Company, great sponsor of the Tom Daly Sports Show and Elizabeth and Cyclone Sports. Double C Western Supply in Elizabeth and your Cowboy store and so much more. We have shoes and boots for guys and gals. We have kids' boots and shoes for the little people, too. Ball caps, Marriott Wrangler, and a large selection of Huey. We have purses, billfolds, handbags. We carry a full line of Montana Silversmith jewelry. We have both Lane Frost and Huey cologne and perfumes. We even have several styles of rugs to choose from and a large kids section full of boots and shoes and jeans and dresses and even stuffed animals. And jeans, and more jeans, both work and casual for guys and gals. Ariat Wrangler in all sizes and styles. T-shirts for men, women, and kids. For cold weather, we have fleece tops and sweaters. And racks full of men's shirts, including the George Strait line from Wrangler. Short sleeve and long sleeve shirts for men and women. Vests and jackets for the cold days and nights for the guys and the ladies. We have a full line of tack and cowboy hats for cowboys and cowgirls, along with belts and a great selection of saddles. So you see, it is a cowboy store and more. Double C Western Supply, Railroad Street, Elizabethton. Find us on Facebook and at doublecwesternsupply.com. And back on the Tom Daly Sports Show again, the Galentine coming up on the 12th of February at Double C. It's really cool. It's for the ladies. You've got everything in the store. You got, I should say, 20% off a discount coupon. You've got, what is it they're going to have? They're going to have the back massages coming in. They've got the permanent jewelry. They're going to have some folks there for that. Have refreshments. So circle the calendar, ladies. It's the 3rd or 4th annual event. It's called Galentine for the ladies. Not Valentine, but for the gals, it's Galentine, coming up on the 12th at February the 12th, of course, right before Valentine's Day, at Double C Western Supply. I was in there yesterday, and some folks come in, bought some toboggans, bought some gloves, bought a jean jacket, barn jacket. So getting ready for this colder weather we're getting ready to have. So going to be down to the single digits tomorrow night and Sunday night. It's going to moderate. So again, if you don't have to drive, once this gets in here, and I guess it's coming, so in fact, I know it's coming. I just feel it. So stay off the roads, enjoy life, as we told you. Went through that earlier in the show. So stop and smell the roses. Sometimes these storms are good for all of us just to slow us down. We go wide open, 100 mile an hour, the hair on fire. Just slow down, enjoy life. All right, back to this college recruiting one more time. Hugh Freeze, the ex-coach at Auburn, says it will be impossible to eliminate the tampering Because you got, when I never finished this story, but you've got, I'm playing for Marshall. I'll go back to my alma mater. I'm playing for Marshall. While I'm playing for Marshall, they got to, and again, there's no rules, so it's all about based on ethics. Well, you know, people aren't ethical. You know that. If you live life at all, you go out there, not everybody's has integrity and not everybody's honest, and they don't do it the right way. But it's reached a point where if I'm playing for Marshall, they will call me or a family member or an NIL representative or an agent will call me or text me and say, "Are you really happy at Marshall?" I mean, this happens. Well, if you come over here, probably get more playing time, and we got some more. We got a little bit more NIL money for you. What are you making right now? This is what it's down to. These are college kids. What are you making right now? When these guys or ladies go from college to college, do they ever check? I mean, I never hear them talk about majors or grade point averages or, you know, what kind of program do you have over there that I'm interested in. No, it's like, what are you going to do for me? What kind of money can I make? What's in it for me? So the tampering is out of control, and, you know, unless all these coaches have said it, and I agree, unless they tighten things up and change the transfer rules and the tampering rules. I mean, tampering's year round. The transfer portal, they've they've closed it down. They've tightened it. Excuse me. And so they've made it a little tougher to do that transfer. I mean, it's a shorter window to move around. We talked about that. I got the story right here. Let's see. It says, effective immediately, men's and women's basketball players will not be able to enter the portal until the day after the NCAA tournament ends. And up to this point, you're playing out there in the March Madness. You got coaches saying, "Hey, why don't you come be with us?" And you're trying to get focused on the next game. Additionally, the portal will be open for 15 days from its onset, the shortest window for entry yet. So the NCAA men's and women's basketball players will not be able to enter the portal until the day after their tournament ends. The March Madness for the women and the guys. So they are trying to do a little bit to tighten things up, but the tampering goes on all the time. It could be at 2 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And they're reaching out to me going, "Are you really happy at Marshall? You know, we need a running back over here." I wouldn't be a running back. I'm too slow. "We need a tight end over here. Big old boy can catch the ball and run with it." Okay. "What are you making over there right now?" "I'm making about 10 grand. We can probably do better than that." So this is during the season. What's going on? And there's no penalty for doing that. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. And you and I probably don't even know the half of it, what goes on behind closed doors, what goes on in this college arena. We know it's college sports. We probably don't know half of what's happening behind the scenes because it's getting, you know, pretty slimy, pretty dirty. I mean, it's what these coaches are saying. Ethically speaking, it's like there are no guardrails, just whatever. It's the wild, wild west. So, anyway, all right, moving on. Zach Gallen, pitcher out there, one of the guys a lot of folks looking at. Cubs, the Orioles, the Padres, the Angels, the Diamondbacks looking at this guy. Zach Gallen, who's a Diamondback anyway. 18th best free agent in the class. Most of the guys ahead of him have already re-signed. He and Chris Bassett are pretty big ones, and Framber Valdez, the lefty from the Houston Astros, really big. Those are the three guys still out there for pitching, getting spring training inside of 2 weeks, which is awesome, which tells us spring is around the corner. Think spring. If I see you this summer when it's 95 degrees and about 120% humidity, and I hear you complaining about the weather after this weekend coming in, I'll probably take you and pull your nose off your head. Like, really? Are you kidding me? So, because it's going to get down to the single digits tomorrow night and Sunday night. It's going to be cold. So, with the wind on top of that. So, we always tell you this. Remember to make sure your pets, you get them out of the wind. Horses, cattle. I mean, I know they're built. God built them to withstand it, but still, you can get them in and out. And certainly, dogs and cats are outside. Make sure they have fresh water that's not froze over. And a place to get them in and out of the cold, too. Well, they're tough. They're big old dogs. Well, okay, but they can get cold, too. Their paws can get cold in the snow, I guess. I would think so. So, anyway, be sure to remember your pets. This cold snap coming up this weekend. We are under a winter storm warning. A lot of the schools have let out. Basically, by now, a lot of them are gone. They've sent them on home. Some of them are already closed anyway. So, and then some, I know Johnson City's running complete school day today. So, if they're having an early dismissal, it wasn't by the time I was going on the show. All right, you go to this auction. You got the time to do it with the storm. CollinsandCompany.info. Household liquidation online auction going on right now. All kinds of cool things to bid on. It goes to the 10th of February. It's to start out $1 a bid. How can you go wrong with that? $1 a bid. You've got patio gazebo, small patio furniture, a large outdoor swing with cushions. I may go after that one. You have Black & Decker, a bench grinder, a Cobalt wet tile saw, a Cobalt compound miter saw, assorted battery-operated power tools. All this again on the web, CollinsandCompany.info. A Craftsman riding mower, 17.5 horsepower with a 42-inch mowing deck. There it is right there. You can bid on that. Start at $1 a bid. How about that? Can't hardly beat that. Craftsman gas-powered weed eater, Craftsman battery-powered weed eater, a Warner 6-foot fiberglass ladders. All this to bid on and going to CollinsandCompany.info. So there you go. That's through February the 10th. National Hockey League last night. Who won? The Carolina Hurricanes win to be Utah 5-4. That's one of our regional teams. Nashville, the Predators, lost last night in a shootout. I should say in overtime, 3-2 to New Jersey in Jersey. Other winners, Boston, Buffalo, Montreal, the Islanders. Also last night, busy night, the Penguins, Tampa Bay, Washington, Minnesota, the St. Louis Blues, Edmonton, Seattle, Vancouver, and Dallas, all last night skated, and that was your winners. One tonight, Columbus, the Blue Jackets, in Chicago against the Blackhawks, and that's your lone National Hockey League game or match for this Friday. Again, happy birthday to Jeannie Pruitt. Remember Jeannie? Satin Sheets to Lie On. She's having a birthday today. She is, 89 today. Phil Collins. Remember Phil Collins? The drummer for Genesis went out on his own. Phil Collins, is 75 today. And Christian Bale, the Hollywood actor. Been a lot of them. I remember in 310, the Yuma. Christian Bale is 52 today. Those are your birthdays on this Friday. Final Friday of the month. Can you believe that Sunday's Feb 1 and Monday is Groundhog Day to predict the rest of the winter months and the winter weather? It is Deals for Days at Food City. That's our sponsor today on the Food City Friday. Here are some of the specials going on at all Food Cities. You have the digital coupon for $2.99 ground beef today and tomorrow. $2.99 a pound. Wow. As I said earlier in the show, I know people are going to grill out. So we'll sweep the snow off the top of the grill. If we get the snow, we'll just grill out on the deck or whatever, or wherever, rather. Jimmy Dean, bacon, $3.99 for a 12-ounce package. Coca-Cola products, 24-pack 12-ounce cans for $10.99. Today and tomorrow, all Food Cities. Little Debbie snack cakes. $2.19 a piece, limit 4. Oh, I didn't tell you. I forgot to come back out of the break and tell you. The number one thing Food City sells. Forgot all about that. The number one thing Food City sells, day in and day out, year-round, and in particular during winter storms, it's not milk, it's not bread, it's not beer, it's not cigarettes, it's not eggs, it's not toilet paper, it's not paper towels. Blew my mind. The number one thing they sell are bananas. You think of that. Year-round, their big seller is and are bananas. So, there you go. There's some useless trivia for you. And they told me that. Several store managers have told me that down through the years, that the biggest thing they sell is bananas, consistently. They sell a ton of bananas at Food City. All right, let's take a look at the smart knockout items and knockout prices, the That Smart line of Food City. That's Smart tomato soup, 89 cents a can. That's Smart cream soup. I'm sure what we're talking about here. That's Smart. You see those labels when you go into Food City. That's Smart saltine crackers, $1.89. That's Smart cream soup, 79 cents a can. That's Smart tomato soup, 89 cents a can. A 4-pound bag of that Smart sugar, granulated, is $3.49 a bag. So knockout items and knockout prices through the That's Smart brand at all Food Cities. You get into the produce. It's in the dead of winter. What kind of produce we got? Beefsteak tomatoes look good across one of those ground round hamburgers. $1.99 for that mater or maters, $1.99 a pound. You have yogurt parfait for $3.99. Those are the shortcuts. Vanilla or strawberry yogurt parfait for $3.99. I may go to Food City and give me some of those after the show before the snow gets in here. Exotic fruit bowls for $4.99. Made fresh in store. Exotic fruit bowls. There it is, $4.99. And there are the yogurt parfaits right there for $3.99. This is the sell paper for Food City. And game day. Big games this weekend. And the Super Bowl next weekend, of course, next Sunday. You've got the Pepsi products, 24-pack, 12-ounce cans for $10.99. You've got Gatorade, 12-pack, 12-ounce bottles for $6.99. The Propel water selected varieties, 12-pack of 16-ounce bottles for $8.99. You have the Pop Corners snacks, 2 bags for $7. The Frito-Lay canned dip, 2 of those for $6. You see that right there. There's your last one for $1.99. Getting ready for the big game next weekend. Doritos, Fritos, or Tostitos for $1.99 at all Food Cities. Getting ready for the big game, the Super Bowl. The Patriots and the Seahawks coming up not this Sunday, but next Sunday. So there you go. All right, quick break. We'll be right back. We're working our way through a Food City Friday in studio, the Tom Taylor Sports.
Hey there, neighbors. Todd Houston here with the Elizabethton Church of Christ, wishing you a very happy new year and a wildly successful 2026. I'd like to invite you to come and get to know our family here at Elizabethton as we are seeking to be more like our Lord every day. We're no perfect people, but we're a people that love the Lord and love you. We'd love to get to know you. If you'd like to join us, our times are at 10 and 11 a.m. on Sunday, 6:30 p.m., and then again Wednesday evening at 7. You can find us on Facebook or at elizabettoncoc.org.
Therapy Services, great sponsor of Cyclone Sports and the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Why Physical Therapy Services? A lot of folks out there that do what you do. Why PTS?
Nobody does it the way that we do it. There are other people out there that say that they are, and I want to air quote, sports PTs. There's no one out there that is truly a sports physical therapy clinic. We've been in business since 1980, and we continue to be in business after people have been bought and sold, folded. The reason why we continue to stay in business is twofold. Number one, we're a little crazy, which is fun. But number two, and the most important thing, is we always take care of the patient first. You take care of the patient first. This is what my dad always taught me. You take care of the patient first, everything else will fall into place.
Locations? Where do you have locations?
1975 West Elk Avenue. That's where my clinic is, where I work primarily. And then we have a pediatric location as well at the Medical Care Building at 1500 West Elk Avenue.
Physical Therapy Services. Last question, real quick. What's the phone number?
423-543-0073.
Physical Therapy Services, proud sponsor of Cyclone Sports and the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show, Lindsey Vonn, the Olympic skater who crashed, injured her left knee earlier today in her final downhill race before the Olympics, said she hopes to recover in time for the Winter Olympics. 41-year-old American said, "My Olympic dream is not over." So the third skier to crash in the World Cup race, she lost control while landing a jump and ended up tangled in the safety nets on the upper portion of the course. And again, had to be helped and airlifted out of there. She crashed, so difficult conditions with low visibility was canceled after Vonn's crash. The race was, so she's supposed to be one of the big names, the big stars of the games. Limped into a tent for medical attention before being airlifted away by helicopter. dangling from a hoist cable with 2 people attending to her on the helicopter. Wow, that's pretty wild. Anyway, again, Miss Vaughn, Lindsey Vaughn to be exact, is the young lady we're referring to. So, trying to see anything else breaking as far as sports. Still looking for head coaches for the Arizona Cardinals and the Raiders. Still looking for a new coach. Still don't have one yet. And so we'll see how that goes. All right. Let's take a look at college basketball again. Big game tonight. You know, Michigan ended the undefeated streak for the Nebraska Cornhuskers early in the week. So now Michigan, number 3 tonight, travels across state to take on the Michigan State Spartans, number 3 against number 7. Michigan, number 3, Michigan State, number 7. They'll play that one in Lansing tonight at Michigan State. Also tonight, 21st ranked St. Louis will be hosting the Dayton Flyers. Now tomorrow, you have, let's see, number 4 Duke will be at Virginia Tech. All these with an asterisk due to the weather. I guess Duke can get to Virginia Tech. The snow's coming. I don't know. Or once they get there, can they get out? Castle Coliseum at Land of the Hokies. That'll be at 12 o'clock tomorrow. 22nd ranked Clemson hosting Pittsburgh. Number 11 Texas Tech. The Red Raiders will be on the road at Central Florida. 10th ranked Houston tomorrow hosting the Cincinnati Bearcats. Number 17 Virginia plays at Boston College. 16th ranked North Carolina. The Tar Heels will be in Atlanta to take on Georgia Tech. 20th ranked Louisville hosting SMU tomorrow. Only 2 unbeaten teams left in major college basketball. Number 1 Arizona, top-ranked Arizona, will be at Arizona State tomorrow afternoon. And 24th ranked Miami, Ohio, the other undefeated team, will be hosting Northern Illinois. 14th ranked Kansas, the Jayhawks, home to BYU. 18th ranked Vanderbilt in Nashville against Ole Miss. I guess these are all on, right in the eye of the storm. 15th ranked Arkansas, John Calipari against his former team, the Kentucky Wildcats. That'll be at 6:30 tomorrow night in Arkansas. Number 2 UConn, the Huskies will be at Creighton. And number 6 Gonzaga tomorrow. Tomorrow night actually will be hosting St. Mary's in men's top 25 college basketball. Lady Vols lose yesterday. Tennessee will be at UConn, number 1 ranked team in the country, taking on the Lady Huskies, and that'll be coming up again. That will be on Sunday at 12 o'clock from UConn, so from Connecticut. So there you go. All right, final break. We'll come right back, wrap this thing up. We're here in studio today, Food City Friday. We'll come right back after this from our good friends at Food City on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Behind every Food City meat and seafood counter is a highly trained, certified butcher. Our butchers offer special orders, custom cuts, and even entire meal recommendations. In fact, you'll be so impressed with our butchers, you'll be asking yourself, what can't they do?
Huh, I bet he'd be great at wrapping presents.
Okay, well, maybe not that. But at Food City, our butchers make almost everything better.
A lot of grocery store chains out there. Why Food City?
You know, Tom, I hope you've got a lot of time because I've got lots of reasons why you need to shop at Food City. You know, our associates are number 1. You know, they're here to serve the community and our customers, and they do a fabulous job taking care of our customers. You know, this is a family-owned company, and it's such a blessing to work for a family-owned company. You know, they truly care about their associates. You know, and we're so involved in the community, Tom. You know, we do so much in all the communities where there is a Food City location. Anytime there's any big events, typically you're going to see that Food City logo. And when you're in the store, Tom, you know, you've got quality items to be able to select from. Talking about the produce, you know, we're picky about our produce. We sell a lot of locally grown items, and right now Half Runners is what everybody's all about. And then, you know, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the meat department. You know, we have our meat cutters back there every day who cut and grind meat fresh daily. You know, our meat, you know, beats none other. I mean, it's you know, great products that we sell back there in our meat department, and it's always fresh. And then the food service department, Tom, I love going to the food service department, and no matter what you get, it's always good, it's always fresh, it's always hot. And you know, like our sushi, they roll that fresh daily. And while you're here, Tom, you can always go to Food City Pharmacy and pick up your, you know, your prescriptions or get a flu shot. Mm-hmm. It's time for flu shots again. Mm-hmm. So there's so many different reasons why you should shop at Food City, and I could go on and on about our company.
Value every day. Food City. Lisa Johnson from the marketing department. Food City, proud sponsor, Tom Doder Sports Show and the Elizabethton Cyclone Sports. Value every day. Food City. Appreciate Lisa very much. Here's the radar, by the way. That little red dot is Johnson City, Tri-City, so you see the snow right above us and dropping. It's been dropping down all morning, so there it is. And they're telling us the snow. Again, I'm not trying to scare you, just telling you what's going on. Snow showers. Moderate snow begins at 1 o'clock, which is in about 15 minutes. And so, here's the deal. And I've said this, and I'm right. There's a lot of folks moved in here that's not used to driving in snow. We've had them move in from all over the place. The warm states, a.k.a. California, Florida. And so they moved into our area, which is great. We're glad they're here. However, they're not used to driving in the snow. So we would make you aware of that they're not totally savvy as to driving in the snow. So what are you telling us? I'm telling to get off the roads because some of these folks just inexperienced. You get a lot of people out here and a lot of travelers coming through, particularly on Interstate 26 and 81. So, just use your noggin. How about that? Make that about as simple as I can make it. Use doused noggin. Get where you need to get settled in. And is it really going to happen? I don't know. I have no clue. I always figure it's a 50-50 chance they're going to get it right. It's pretty simple. So, and, it's a 50% chance they won't get it right, 50% chance we're going to get a lot of snow. So, but either way, get where you need to get and stay put. And, enjoy it for what it's worth. Well, I got to get here and I got to get there. No, we don't. So sometimes these storms, as I said earlier in the show, will slow us down, make us stop and think, okay, is it really that important? We've got basketball or cheerleading, pick whatever. We got a swim meet, whatever it is going on. Or we got a meeting to get to. We got this or that, a birthday party, whatever. Okay. Just like the baseball auction for the Elizabethton baseball team. They wisely canceled tomorrow night, rescheduled it for Thursday next week. It'll keep. Be all right. We don't play. Elizabethton and Crockett's game tonight, and every other game that I know of in this side of the state is canceled tonight. It's okay. We'll make it up. Go home. Spend time with your family. Spend time with your loved ones. Spend time with somebody you want to spend time with. So I moved from Elizabethton to Georgia for warmer weather. So I guess you're in Georgia now. I don't know what part, but it's supposed to be cold down in Georgia this weekend too. They're talking down in the 20s down in Florida. So what was it I read? It was 19 in San Antonio earlier in the week. 19. And it was, I read we're down in Birmingham, down in Alabama, is 18, 19 degrees. So she moved from Elizabethton to Georgia for warmer weather. I hope you're getting it, because up here, let me read this forecast real quick. So for those of you who are not around here, well, here's the first today. I'll get to that in a second. Let's do this weather. So, and it's different for other people in other parts of the country, obviously, but this is our forecast right here in good old East Tennessee. Winter storm warning remains in effect from 1 o'clock today to 1 o'clock Sunday morning. Heavy snow expected. Total snow accumulation between 4 and 8. Locally higher amounts up to a foot over the higher peaks of the East Tennessee mountains. There you go. Winds gusting as high as 35 miles per hour. If you don't have to go out, don't go out. It hasn't started yet, but if you don't have to go out, don't go out. It's real simple. Just stay put. It's going to warm up. I'll give you the temperatures here next week. It's going to warm up. Travel could be very difficult. Hazardous conditions could impact the Friday evening commute. If you must travel, keep an extra flashlight, food, and water in your vehicle in case of emergency. You can drive well, but what about the people out there who can't, and they do something goofy, and it causes a wreck, and then the traffic's backed up, and you're sitting there? Not your fault, but you're sitting there. You got kids. I know someone back over the holidays got stuck in traffic in Atlanta for 2 hours, set put. Stayed put. Couldn't move. 2 hours in traffic. Had kids in the car. They were going bananas. They had to potty. What do you do? They weren't ready for it. They didn't know. Of course, it had no weather really. It's just a wreck down in Metro Atlanta. So, but anyway, point is, when you start out, you don't know what you're going to run into, and up here with this weather. Extra flashlight, food, and water in your vehicle. The latest road conditions for the state you are calling from can be obtained by calling 511. So, so let's see what it is. Tomorrow, 19 degrees is our high here in the Tri-Cities in northeast Tennessee. The low tomorrow night is 5. Sunday is 25 is your high. The low Sunday night is 2. However, it gets better real quick. Monday, the meltdown begins. It's 36 on Monday, 43 on Wednesday. The high Thursday is 38. Next Friday week's 44. Next Saturday's 34. Next Sunday week on the 8th, Super Bowl Sunday is 39. So we just make it to Monday. It'll start melting down. So, but again, if you don't have to go out, don't. I don't think it started. I haven't looked outside yet, but I don't think it started. So, and my goal is not to come on here and scare you. That's not my point. Just as there's an update, and it's even closing out of the Tri-Cities as the snow. You see the little blue dot, Johnson City, Tri-City. That's it. That's us. That's when it's going to start. Highs in the 20s in Fulton County. Wow. See, here's the thing. I lived in Charleston for a while, Charleston, South Carolina, for a year, and it snowed down there one year I was down there. And they were paralyzed. They had no clue because they're not ready for snow, and I understand that. I read last night Myrtle Beach is expecting 3 to 5 inches of snow this weekend. They got that northeaster off the coast that's spinning, bringing all that moisture off the ocean into the Carolinas. They're calling for 3 to 5 inches of snow at Myrtle Beach this weekend. I can tell you, unless they've changed since I lived down there, it's been a long time since I was there, they won't know how to react to that because they're not used to it. I mean, they won't know how to do it. And so it will be a paralyzing scenario for Charleston, South Carolina, Myrtle Beach, when they have 3 to 5 inches of snow. So that's what they're calling for down there. So it's not just here in the mountains of East Tennessee. Kathy's in Fulton County says it's going to be in the 20s down there for the highs. So it is what it is. Again, it's wintertime and getting the good old Appalachia here where we are. So it will, it will begin to clear itself up and warm up on Monday. So we got 2 days to deal with it, and then it's going to get better real quick. We like that. Now, if you're in Canada, someplace where it's like this, 6, 7, 8 months out of the year, whatever it is, up there when it stays cold and snowy and for, months at a time, no. I mean, people up there live and just, they go, this stuff like this wouldn't even bother them. So it's all relative. What we're dealing with, people up in, the northern states and Canada, it's like 8 inches of snow, that's nothing, what we go through. And the temperature's going to be down to 2 one night. I mean, there's days, I guess, the high up there is around 2, I'm sure, so it doesn't phase in. But then you get where we are, you go down below us, and they can't handle what we're dealing with. We can't handle what people north of us deal with. So it's all relative. All right, thanks for watching the show. We've been bouncing around here. All the games have been canceled. High school basketball games, everybody said we're going to go home and sit down and watch it snow and get ready for the thaw out and the melt out on Monday. The Milligan game against Georgia Gwinnett, we're going to stream tomorrow. It's been rescheduled to Monday, so we hope to be over there for that one on Monday afternoon. We've got basketball Tuesday and Friday of next week. Tuesday, Friday, Saturday next week. Tuesday and Friday, we've got Elizabethton at Boone on Tuesday. Elizabethton at Tennessee High at Viking Hall on Friday of next week. Next Saturday, we have Milligan and Tennessee Wesleyan. So the Bulldogs coming to town. Big rival game. We've got that next Saturday, a doubleheader. So there you go. All right, let's finish it up and let you get on with your day. And we thank you that you're watching and spend some time with us. We do this every day from 11 to 1 o'clock. And here we go. Here's the verse of the day to end it. Psalms 107, 28 and 29. Then they cried out to the Lord in their trouble, and he brought them out of their distress. He stilled the storm to a whisper. The waves of the sea were hushed. Wow. Thank you, Lord Jesus. We can bring our troubles to the one who has the power to still the storms and hush the waves. Nothing is impossible for you, including our troubles and our situations. Thank you, Lord Jesus. There you go. Good way to end it. So, again, we have 2 people in the locally that I can tell you straight up that they're walking miracles. Emily Schubert and Caitlin Bailey, and there's more out there that I don't know of, I'm sure. And so if you think that you can't get spiritual help, you can. The good Lord answers your prayers. He hears them. So don't ever think, you're praying and it bounces off the ceiling and doesn't get any further, because it does. He hears all of our prayers. Thank you for watching the show. We'll be back on Monday, either here or at Chick-fil-A in Elizabethton for show number 2338. We're on our way to 2,500, so we're clicking them off slowly but surely. What is that? Puts us down to what? 67. Let's see what we got here. 2,500. Going to embarrass myself and have to cipher on the air. 2437. Difference of, we got 63 more shows to hit 2,500. So at 5 shows a week, in theory, you're talking about 12 weeks. Puts you, what is this, end of January, 12 weeks, be 3 more months, probably around Easter or mid-April. Somewhere through there, we'll hit our 2,500 show. We'll have a little party on that one. That's a big milestone. Thanks for watching. We're out of time. We sincerely thank you for yours. Brought to you by our great friends at Food City. Everything we told you about all these sale prices are good at all Food Cities, both the deals for days today and tomorrow, and the regular sale paper through next Tuesday. We'll be back at Food City on Food City Friday, next Friday at Food City in Gray. So until then, we'll tell you as always, as Mama used to tell us every day, bloom where you're planted, bloom where you're planted, bloom where you're planted, make a difference, bloom where you're planted. And she also used to say, bloom where you planted, and we always say, win or lose, be a good sport. Thanks for watching show number 2,437 from inside the Tom Taylor Sports Show studios. Again, brought to you today by Food City. See you back here on Monday. Enjoy the weekend. Invest in your children, your loved ones, your husband, your wife, your kids, your grandkids, whomever, your brothers, your sisters, whoever's around you. Invest in them if you love them. Don't just tell them, show them you love them. Life is short. Life is fragile. Life is fleeting. Let them know you love them. See you back here Monday.